Emotions have a few functions, but one of its most important functions is its signal. Emotions signal information to you that would otherwise not really be seen if you just sit and think. You have to experience an emotion because of a particular circumstance. That circumstance will now reflect something within you. And so emotions are a way that I think of them as a string. It connects all the way down into the unconscious to something that we haven't yet contended with. That something is still a complex, a strong emotional knot that we need to massage out with time and effective practice. And of course, the other way emotions are utilized is a way to channel focus and channel power, combined and layered with your complexes and passing through you an archetypal force of the king or the magician or the lover or whatever it is that you need to pass through you to utilize for that moment. Maybe you're about to present something in front of a class. Maybe you are seeking to build a business that's going to bring something to the people around you and to the community, and you are just driven by something more, by something beyond just material things. And so emotions can consolidate and focus power and let you experience life and feel life rather than disassociate and have a numbing effect where you're not really feeling anything anymore. Now, the issue begins when we immediately distinct and we classify, these are good, these are bad, these are strong, these are weak. And so one thing I want you to do from the very beginning before we get into the practice is understand that every emotion is involved in the holistic picture of yourself, of your identity. You need all of them. All of them have a part to play. All of them deliver message. And all of them, when combined, gives you the fullest experience of life. What I want you to do is take a piece of paper, and I want you to sit down, and I want you to go through all the emotions that you tend to experience, and also the ones that you tend to reject and deny. And so the basic ones, are joy, sadness, fear, and those are like the basic general ones that you feel. You don't have to get too crazy. You don't have to get super niche down. Anxiety, as an example, is a form of fear, just in a different flavor. So you can name the one that is most accurate to you. So again, name the emotions that you generally feel throughout a week. Then also, I want you to name the emotions that you tend to reject and disown, deny, and not want to actually involve into your existence. Once you name all of them, the objective now, what I want you to do is create a caricature out of them. I want you to give it a name. I want you to give it clothing, how it walks, how it speaks. And I want you to do that with every single emotion. Anger, lust, joy, fear, excitement. All of them. List them and make it vivid. Once you do all that, immediately what I want you to sort of take in and digest is sort of see how each one is its own form of personality. That when you go into a state of anger, you are in a sense a different person slightly. When you're in a lustful state, you're a different person slightly. And so they are their own mini personalities that exist within you, that all want to express something, that all want to feel something in the moment. And so that goes to the next step. Each one has an ideal, has a mission, has an itch it wants to scratch. Someone cuts you off in line, or someone cuts you off on the road. Anger wants to step in. The personality of anger wants to step in and release itself, wants to curse, wants to say bad things to that individual, wants to bring fantasies of violence to that individual, needs to bring itself forward, manifest itself. And each one has its own. Once you do that, that's going to be the next layer of reflection. And by the way, you can take your time with this. I am part of this mission for me is to really hone in and have people understand there is no quick, immediate fix. There is no one mantra. There is no one practice you do that's going to bring you to a truly integrated, healed place. And healed is different for everybody, depending on the degree of trauma that you've had, depending on the life circumstances that you have. It's variable and it's different. And so healing is subjective to some degree, and integration is subjective to some degree. And so I just want you to remember that. Once you fill that second layer, you can now reflect and look upon that and see how it relates to your life. Do things start to make sense now as to why you act in certain ways? Oh, I can see. It just gives you a bigger picture of yourself. Once you've done that, let's go to the next layer. Which emotion are you the quickest to connect to? Is it anger? Is it lust? Is it fear? Which one is essentially your companion, side by side? When you find that answer, that answer will drill itself. It's a string that goes all the way down. It goes down to complexes, your memories, and your stored emotions and pains and thoughts, narratives that live and exist, and they fester, and they need to be dealt with. They need to be understood. It's the exact same thing for the emotion now that you feel the least. Either one that you desire to feel but you can't, or the emotion that you reject and actually feel grossed out by. That's another one. The one that you feel the most, the one that you would like to feel more often, and the one that you reject. You trail that string down, that's connecting to something. And now, how do you actually have a dialogue with your emotions? Well, now we go into the next layer. The next layer now is going to be seeing them not as these random forces that come and go, which they kind of are, but instead I want you to look at them as a council. These are individuals that sit at your table, and you are the head of that table. Each one has a particular voice, and it has something it wants to deliver to you. Its attempt is to keep things in balance, give you the full range and perspective, leave no stone unturned within your shadow. Your role as the head of that table is to listen to every single one and to understand where it's coming from. Now, you can imagine if there was some on that table you never speak to and you ignore, well, they're going to have to get your attention in one way or the other. And so one example I give, I had a conversation with one of my clients on a video call. He mentioned that there's an individual he knows that is very hyper masculine, traditionally speaking, of the boomer generation, and does not express any of the more sensitive emotions. But what ends up happening is they're going to experience what I call leakage. And so the leakage is he'll listen to very, I guess I can't fully remember, I think it was pop diva, sort of very young girl music, Taylor Swift-esque. And that's no surprise, because there needs to be a balance and harmony that needs to exist, and so it's going to leak out. I know some individuals that will secretly paint their toenails. I know some individuals that will watch romance movies and cry to it while also presenting a super hardcore exterior. And the idea behind it is you cannot disown anything. Any emotion you try to reject will just come back full circle in some way or the other. So you're going to have to contend with it whether you like it or not. So you might as well have a harmonious relationship, and it's going to give you a much more peaceful existence. And so when you give all of them a voice and you listen to them, then comes the next process, which is look to solve the conflict. Look to deal with it and relate to it and bring it forward into your actual reality. So if you express anger too much, understand why you express anger, and you want to contend with it. and understand how you can massage that out so you can be less angry in your life. Perhaps you need to express more love in your life and express love in a way that makes you feel comfortable at first. Because I know for me, I grew up in a sort of dynamic where verbal communication of love was not there. So I was very cringed to and very uncomfortable about it. And so it was very difficult for me. So I had to express love in ways that can warm me up to doing it at the scale that I want. Even saying the word was super uncomfortable for me years ago. And so it's baby stepping. You don't have to go from where you are to now all of a sudden, if you've never felt love or you never really expressed it, to now saying I love you to everybody. That's a complete imbalance going the opposite way. Instead, work your way from the bottom up slowly where you first feel comfortable, and then you can feel the courage build over time as you gain confidence in that one realm. And then to leave this on a final note, you are not your emotions. You experience emotions. Emotions come in, either give you an experience, so you feel joy because you're seeing something beautiful, a scenic view, and allows you to ground that moment, ground the memory. It's part of the entire picture. But it can also be a signal as to repetitive emotions you're feeling that are saying you're feeling angry all the time, or you're feeling lustful all the time, or you're feeling disgusted all the time because it's something deeper than just surface level. And so if it's repeated, it's something you have to deal with. But again, they're signals and forms of experience. They're not you. They exist within you. So look at them and observe them and understand them and respect them. And it'll absolutely change everything for you. And be patient. We'll leave it at that. If you want to go deeper than just content and watching my videos, click the button below and go ahead and sign up to my newsletter. I'm also going to send you, when you sign up, my 3-step identity rebuilding guide. It's a toolkit you can use to navigate the process of identity crisis and move towards an ego soul integrated lifestyle. It's a community that I share my deeper thoughts, concepts, philosophies, and principles, guides, anything new and up to date that I come to revelations with or new perspectives. That is where I release them. And it is a sanctuary in a sense. And so if you feel connected to this video and you feel connected to the message, I would absolutely love and be grateful for you to join. Thank you very much, and I will see you on the next video.